Hi, my name is Joseph. What's your name?
Can I help you, sir?
Yes, I just had a question. I just want to know what your name was.
I'm not going to give you my name unless you give me the reason why you need my name.
Okay, I just had a quick question. It's actually kind of weird. It's regarding a series of figures you guys used to have with your meals.
Alright, I'm serious. Hang on just a second, honey.
Okay.
Hi, this is Dan. May I help you?
Yes, my name is Joseph. Hi, Dan. I just wanted to ask you kind of an odd question. It was actually about a series of figures you guys used to give out with your meals.
Okay.
I had one that meant a lot to me. It was actually, it was from a few years ago. It was eaten by my pet turtle, and I can't find anywhere online. I can't find any eBay listings that have that figure. It was a character from the 2001 film Shrek. Have you seen it?
Yeah, we had those several months ago, yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about Wave 1, actually, but that's okay. It was the character Lord Farquaad, if you're familiar with him. He's the primary antagonist. You know,
Yeah.
his motives are nuanced, but I won't get into morality here. I just wanted to know if you had the manufacturer's info, because the scalpers on eBay, Dan, they're killing me. You know how it is. I can't find a single listing that is of reasonable price. I agreed no higher than $450, and I'm getting a lot of results in the 2,000 to 5,000 range. I was just wondering if you perhaps had the manufacturer's info. Maybe I could contact them. Cut out the middleman.
No, I don't. We buy everything through a distributor. Everything that we got just has the distributor information on it, so I wouldn't have anything about the manufacturer.
Oh, I see. You don't have any like in the back, maybe from years ago, maybe from under under a box.
No, we clear all those out pretty regularly. We go through several cases a month.
Oh, behind a fryer, perhaps.
No.
Okay, but before I hang up, could you just maybe check like on the highest shelf that maybe no one can see?
I don't have any at all.
Okay. Well, you have a good day, Dan. I'm back to eBay, back to the digital bay for me.
All right.
All right. Bye. Duloc is a perfect place. I'm Joseph Siegel, fan of all things Farquaad.
And I'm Cameron Diaz, Eddie Murphy. I got it right.
Yes. Welcome to the Shrexorcist Podcast, Episode 3, a podcast dedicated to people who have not seen the 2001 film Shrek, blah, 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 blah. And we interviewed a very nice person. Cameron, tell us about who we interviewed.
We interviewed Marriane, who is one of my quote-unquote bosses at one of my quote-unquote jobs as a professional actor for a touring children's musical theater troupe acting out at the Jewish Community Center.
Plug alert. She was very nice, had a lovely house, and we had a great talk with her.
Yes, we sure did. And
you about to hear it.
And here it is. Shrexorcist Episode 3.
Time to party. Because
Oh, you want to do it like naturally?
Yeah, it was just like, but this is ruining that. So
okay.
Anyway.
So now, and we start.
Yeah.
I love it already.
All right, so we got this.
We'd like to welcome Marriane to the Shrexorcist Podcast.
Shrexorcist episode. This is the third episode, second interview.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
I'm number 2.
You're the difficult second album.
Yeah. It took
a
sophomore
album.
slump.
Exactly.
This isn't going to be a sophomore slump, though.
I sure hope not. What a pressure.
We get this.
Well, it's all on you.
up.
It's not on us.
Yeah. We actually are going to be providing your email for the complaints at the end of this episode. If you could write it down.
Nice.
Just
okay.
No fake news. And
CNN will not be...
No news either.
CNN won't be listening to this.
Will Fox News be fact-checking us?
Yes, actually.
Oh, okay, good.
So So, question of the night. What's up?
Yeah.
What's up?
Did you guys go to the movies a lot? Did you go to the movies with your family when like growing up, or
Why haven't you seen Shrek?
Why haven't I seen Shrek?
Yeah.
why
Well,
don't you like it? I'm just kidding. That's aggressive.
No, well, I was going to say I don't think I necessarily dislike Shrek.
Sure.
I think that when Shrek came out, I was a little older than the younger kids that were totally into it. And then the next thing you know, it kind of spiraled into, several different movies, and then I didn't see the first one, so then
Yeah.
I didn't keep up. The same thing happened with Harry Potter. Like,
Have you seen any of the
didn't see-
Shreks?
No, I've seen no
No.
Shreks. So not even the musical or the center stage acting out academy
Oh, yeah.
program.
You're better
I've seen
for
none
it
of that.
then because you got to start with the first.
You gotta-
Honestly,
yeah.
like whenever we talk
I'm
to
kind
people.
of a parent like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you ever plan on seeing Shrek?
I'm actually very intrigued that you would build a podcast
Yeah.
around this particular, situation, and so it does inspire me.
Yeah, because we kind of singled you out as somebody who has never seen this thing that a lot of people have seen.
Yeah, the magnitude of like cultural importance, like that's not even like jokingly. It's just like that's like a huge pop culture phenomenon.
But now it's kind of come around the internet kind of cycle of being this really popular ironic joke.
Aha.
And if you look into Shrek,
Yeah.
if you Google some stuff, Shrek is love.
Shrek is love.
It's kind of come back around to be this really ironic emblem of just internet culture. But I don't know too much about that.
Yeah,
We're not trying to engage with that.
Yeah, because with like in the least pretentious sense possible, like this isn't really like a part of like a contribution to that. This is based in like genuine fandom. I love this movie. Like I don't ironically love it. It's just like a humorous hook to interview people about, like
I don't really like it.
You don't like the movie?
No. I
Wow,
mean, there's better
interesting.
children's movies. It's a decent movie. I think when it came out, it was like, it was one of the first sort of DreamWorks like animated films.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of great animated films stand on the shoulders of Shrek.
Absolutely.
But I don't know how well it's aged.
So it didn't spark your interest in postmodernism at a young age?
No.
We won't open that can
No.
of worms again.
No,
Really?
we're
Is that where Shrek takes you?
we're not going to get in. I think
Okay.
we're going to avoid postmodernism. in this.
Postmodernism officially banned from the podcast.
Oh.
So,
Wah-wah.
yeah.
That's reinstated, actually.
Okay. All right.
Oh.
We'll bring it back next.
So, what is your perception of do you know the story of Shrek, like the first one specifically? Do you know the characters at all, or is it just I know Shrek's an ogre and that's it?
Yeah, what's your perception of the events of the story? Do you have one or?
Shrek's the big green guy,
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
and then there's a Princess Fiona, right?
Yes.
Everyone knows her name. I
Yeah.
find that interesting.
Okay. Well, I feel like the little kids that I have been around, if they were girls, they
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
want the princesses type thing. So
Yeah.
I do know that there's a love story there, and that there are some good morals
Yeah.
in the Shrek.
Yeah.
Love the person within. I know I
Sure.
dig that. I really should see it now.
So you don't know the actual quest he goes on. You don't have any kind of idea of what that.
You know about
is?
Donkey?
There is a donkey, isn't there?
Who plays him?
I have no idea.
Oh man,
Hint: Cameron's last name.
we share a name.
Oh God.
Cameron Diaz.
Nuh-uh.
She plays Fiona. Eddie
For real?
Murphy plays the donkey.
Really?
Yeah.
Cameron Diaz, Eddie Murphy.
I get it. Wow.
Yeah.
You have such the connection.
I
Those are
almost
some
got
heavy hitters.
I almost got casted, but they didn't get the names right.
Mm.
My name is in the movie.
But you showed up. For work,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I was there, and they're like, no, Cameron Diaz, Eddie Murphy.
Murphy.
He couldn't hit the emotional notes. He's really self-conscious about it.
Well, I've done some voiceover.
And I beg to differ. I've seen this one act before, and he's given me all the feels.
We should probably explain how I know Marianne, which
Oh, we should do that
which
now.
is Cameron do some children's musical theater with acting out at the JCC, and Marianne is sort of the boss You're my boss. I described you as my boss.
Okay.
Yeah, talk a little bit about that job. What's that like?
Wow, the JCC. It's very Jewish.
Yes.
Very Jewish.
Are you Jewish?
I am not. I'm a Lutheran
Why?
pastor's
Nobody
daughter.
I work with there is Jewish. Nobody in the cast is Jewish.
Yeah, about 80% of the people that come in and out of the J are not Jewish, in
Yeah.
fact. But that 20%, very important.
Yeah.
Very important.
Larry? Larry's Jewish.
Yes.
He hasn't seen Shrek either. He's the next guest.
Yes.
Yeah.
You got to get Big Larry on here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so center stage at the JCC, they have this wonderful program, Acting Out, where we take, I think, very impactful children's shows into different schools, and many times they are disadvantaged schools. So we're exposing children to things that they would not normally get a chance to see. I was very excited to be a part of coordinating the Acting Out program this season. And you just kind of popped out of nowhere.
I did, yeah.
Honestly, like, I never met Cam. I had no idea. And the next thing you know, he just showed up. And I will say that I was actually going to give you these notes via email, but might as well tell you now. I never saw another Butterfly musical about a concentration camp and the Holocaust.
It is.
Not the brightest story, right?
Mm-hmm.
Somehow, there are these really sweet moments and these things that you can learn throughout this show, and Cameron somehow is playing like 6 things in every show we have him in, and somehow is able to change from these characters in a believable way, not just in a, hey, I put on a different hat, guess what, I'm something else. I was extremely impressed, and of all, if I was going to be giving out superlatives for best male actor, it would be Cameron.
I tried really hard at that show.
Yeah, you did.
Because I knew that people were a little anxious, and that show particularly has been, it's been a struggle to put it on. And so then when we were finally doing it, I felt like I needed to give it everything, And I do that with Elephant and Piggy, too. I should say we're doing 2 shows right now, Elephant and Piggy, we're in a play, and I Never Saw Another Butterfly. So they're very similar plays. But anyway, thank you very much for saying that.
Thank you, Marriane. I'll give you that $5 after the show.
You need to see the show.
Did my mom?
I would love to. Actually,
we have a public performance.
We'll
this
get you
Sunday.
in.
So this JCC, is there someone that works there named Julie that works with like the daycare? There's like this thing I remember. I worked for the JCC for like a couple days.
Wow.
It was like for winter
I didn't know
camp.
that.
Oh, yeah, they do, yeah. We have a camp program, very strong summer camp, winter camp, spring break camp.
I worked there
They have
during
adult
winter
camp.
Lots of camps.
Yeah.
The camps are everywhere.
And so you said like this I just found interesting, like you said you observe kind of like the kids like you said the girls are talking about Fiona.
Mm-hmm.
So she's working in like kid like environment.
Yeah.
And she's getting you get Shrek from a lot of angles. You get it from the kids. You get it from just like reading about it, or like it won the first animated Oscar. That category was created the year of Shrek.
Wow.
Really?
And so it's the first animated feature to win.
Fun fact.
Yeah. This isn't like a cheesy segue into Shrek.
We're trying to make it Trek-centric.
Yeah, it's like
Trend trick.
the light's blinking. It says get back on Shrek.
Have you so what is the Shrek show that the JCC did?
Shrek the Musical came out after, the movie success.
Yeah.
And then there was an adaptation of that for children.
Wow.
And so Center Stage has an academy program where they take kids that want to learn how to sing and act and dance.
Yeah.
And so they put on Shrek the Musical.
How about that?
And interesting to like note the like layers of that. It's something that might be kind of perceived by like the general public as like a children's thing already, but here you have a children's adaptation of that. You know, like it's not like so the one the Broadway musical.
We've seen a little bit of the Broadway musical.
Yeah,
it's pretty good,
and it seems like appealing to all audiences. But like, I love the fact that there's actually still like a version like for kids more to highlight more of like the like lighter side, unless like that's satire probably.
Yeah, I feel like any children's show or movie or anything, the best of it has to strike some sort of balance between like. Some of it has to appeal to adults because adults are going to watch it too. But how much? Like the Elephant and Piggy play, there's stuff just for adults,
For sure.
And I feel like Shrek too, and almost every animated movie that comes out, there's jokes just for adults, you know. So
it was kind of like when we were talking about the postmodernism thing. There's an element to the story that is like a big commentary on traditional fairy tales, and satire.
It's
There's
like
satire.
a self-aware fairy tale children's movie.
Because the whole point is like he's an unconventional protagonist that goes to save the princess, and she's all confused, like, why is this all wrong? Why is the ogre saving me? Yeah. And you know, it perfectly melds into like, you know, the message to children about being yourself. That actually is a good lead into another question. Do you ever feel in any way like whether it be with your job or anything, like stigmatized by like society in a way that isn't true to who you are on the inside? Which I guess we all do to a degree.
Yeah, I was going to say that I think we all have dealt with that on some level, but sometimes it can be deeper than other times.
Yeah, I think a lot of times, like, especially this is funny, Cameron and I went to Trinity. A lot of people there, I guess just thought that I was, like, good at school. Like, they would ask me for help and stuff, but I'm, like, a dumbass, and, like, I never did well in school. So I don't know why. I'm, like, I guess I have both like the looks of a nerd, but I don't even get the perks of the smart intelligence.
I am very smart.
Yeah,
but Cameron people thought I was a dummy.
We call him the brain, so they call me the bot.
I had really long hair and I was really tired all the time, and people just assumed that I was like a stoner.
Yeah, you've talked about this before. You said you really like the contrast.
And all the teachers were just, well, not the AP teachers, but like the teachers that didn't have class with me, they would just like assume that I was like kind of a, you know, a burnout or something.
You just needed a haircut.
Yeah, and some sleep. I didn't sleep in high school, but I
slept on desks.
I slept on desks. Yeah. There's evidence.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell us a story about a quest you've been on.
About a quest?
What's a great quest? Like
first quest that comes to your mind.
We say, what's the best quest? And you go, what's your quest?
It's a big question.
I know that is a big question, and the first thing that came to mind isn't necessarily exciting, I guess, but I was, so I had a crazy job before I worked at the JCC, and I was a historic preservationist, and I saved buildings.
Wow, that's cool.
And there's a really famous block called Whiskey Row, which is Main Street here in Louisville. And it has the second largest amount of iron facades in the country besides Soho in New York City.
Wow.
And this guy, he kind of wanted to tear them all down.
Why did he want to do that?
Well, you know, he wanted to build a big glass box hotel.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was on the job like, 48 hours, and they were like, yeah, you're going to want to do something about that.
Damn.
And long story short, after a huge landmarking battle, petitions and hearings and things of that nature, and then a federal court case, and the block also burned down. But after all of that, so Whiskey Row 1.0,
I know about when it burned down, Yeah,
I kind of saved that. So
wow.
That was a very long and exhausting
I was going to say,
quest.
I love the fact that, like, we kind of... Cameron just asked this question, it's kind of like, all right, let's see. And then you pull out, like, one of the best quests I've ever heard. Like, that is a traditional... That's, like, literally the idea of someone...
You're a hero.
You want something funny, right?
No. This is this is about...
We're trying to be sincere.
Yes.
With the Shrexorcists. We really are.
No, but that's
I started my own nonprofit, like, a decade ago, and I literally just left there and am now back in the arts.
Wow.
Yeah, because that is like the kind of the traditional like structure of a quest. She saved buildings.
And there's there's the classic like villain, the Farquaad, who's like chomping a cigar behind a desk.
Do you have any
Tear it down. What culture?
The antagonist.
Gotta bring in the money there.
Exactly. He kind of sounds like that too.
Yeah. He's voiced by John Lithgow. His name's Lord Farquaad. Do you know anything about him?
This is the antagonist of Shrek.
Yeah. Wow.
He's like a short like, king. Who's really like insecure, but he wants.
And he has a. It's sort of Trumpian.
Yeah.
We're not going to get into that.
Yeah.
But he's really short, and he has this this amusement park, right, in his kingdom. That's like kind of celebrates him. Is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all about him.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's like he's that part of the film is a big like kind of joke about Disney World. Have you ever been to Disney World before?
Yes.
Yes.
Wait, when was it? Like, was it in your adult life or
I've been twice. Once as a kid and once as an adult.
which
Have you
one?
been to Universal? Like,
Yes.
Have you done the Shrek ride?
No. I don't know that it... I don't know.
How new is the Shrek ride? Because I just went, by the way. Very good.
I
It's
don't
a short
remember
film
seeing
about
it there.
Lord Farquaad's ghost. He comes back from the
Oh,
dead,
now
and
it's
he
coming
wants
back
to
to me,
kill
yeah.
Fiona and marry her in the afterlife.
Oh,
that's
what?
like
That's
like an
crazy.
Avenged Sevenfold song. I did not expect something that.
That it almost
That's
is
deep.
literally an Avenged Sevenfold.
Yeah,
song.
it almost is.
Yeah.
What Little Piece of Heaven?
Yes,
That's pretty much
yeah.
it with Farquaad. But yeah, but Disney World though, I think I always like asking people about that because, or whether or not they went as a kid and then an adult, because when you go as a kid, obviously it's like this, it's the best place on earth.
Yeah.
It's just like wonder. It's just like overwhelming, like wonder. And then you go as an adult and it's still the same, but you're looking at it, like through the eyes of an adult.
But I went there with my family this past summer, and I just enjoy seeing children so enamored with it and
Oh, yeah.
remembering my own childhood, and you can tap into that, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or it could be a thing where you go there and you're like, I just want to get away from this. I need a break. Like your break from your job, and then you go to like Disney World and see all these kids. But they're happy. You don't have to deal with them. So
The wonder is there.
yeah.
And I definitely tapped into it as an adult, for sure. But I definitely also looked at it as the machine that it is. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Disney
There's
is...
a way. Yeah.
This is a huge
I mean,
corporation.
that is quite the machine. The
Yeah.
cogs in that machine. Down to, no joke, like the Disney University that all of their employees go through.
Yeah.
Their customer service training has literally been adopted by like thousands of companies.
Yeah.
Because they do things like, don't point to where the restroom is. Give them an open-handed
Oh,
direction.
God.
Like
The
it's-
Disney way.
Exactly.
Yeah, if you go to Disney World and you see employees, it seems like they're all brainwashed.
Right.
They're crazy.
So that's what I'm saying. As an adult,
Yeah.
I was a little like, hoo, hoo, hoo.
Yeah.
This is all very interesting. I mean, I still got down and I rode the rides and I was excited about it.
That's
So,
just it's a funny contrast. Like it's like supposed to be the happiest place on earth, but it's one of like the most stringent like corporations.
Oh yeah.
Based
And they
entirely on
just
maximizing
like
profit.
suck the money out of these families with the little kids who like. But it's also, it's buying all these different. It's bought Star Wars, it's bought Marvel, but it's still losing money somehow.
They're still
They're
they,
still
see those
struggling.
movies
they
either.
had to
So
recuperate.
you haven't seen Star Wars? Have you seen any of the Harry Potters?
Like little bits here and there.
You
You
haven't
were
seen,
the perfect
you didn't-
candidate for
You
the
didn't
rest
see
of
The
it.
Force Awakens, the most recent Star Wars?
No.
Do you have any urge to see these movies that everybody's talking about?
Yeah, I really do get a lot of flack about the fact that I haven't seen some of these kind of iconic trilogies or
Yeah.
series of movies, because definitely haven't seen Star Wars, definitely haven't seen any Harry Potters, didn't see any Lord of the Rings.
Do you like movies? Like, do you like going to the movies? And
I do like going to the movies.
What are some of your favorite movies?
Well,
Star Wars?
no, I wouldn't say Star Wars, but just sort of like crazy offbeat things. Like there was a movie a while back called With Honors that had Danny DeVito in it and a few other kind of newbies that I fell in love with. But I also love because I am a musical theater kid, so I love The Sound of Music.
yeah,
That's kind of one of my all-time favorite movies.
yeah.
But yeah, I see movies and I like movies.
Yeah.
I'm not against movies.
Sure.
I do think that in my more adult life, where I now have 4 jobs, it makes it kind of hard
Yeah.
Of course.
to carve out that time and be like, yeah, I'm going to dedicate. But
Yeah.
I want to go to the movies.
Uh-huh.
It makes me jealous of people that go to them on a regular
Yeah.
basis because I want...
He works at a movie theater.
Yeah, we're
Dude,
at
Rick-
Village 8. Yeah, so if you ever want to... Yeah, if you ever come
Did
to
you
Village-
see the Jewish Film Festival movies?
I didn't get to see any. I worked the whole time because...
Oh, we appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Joseph.
I was selling popcorn. I want to watch them. I love that we do that. Yeah, that just happened, and it was like every
Yes.
weekend of February.
I was promoting the crap out of it.
Oh, so I might have seen you there then. Did you go?
We did some stuff. I did not get to see any of
Oh,
the
yeah.
movies in it because I was working too, you see.
Oh, okay.
But,
well,
yeah.
it looks like the shoe's on the other foot, Maryanne.
I know. Is there... I've heard a rumor. Because I actually used to go to Village 8 a lot when
Yeah.
I had more time to go to movies.
Is it closing down? Are you going to ask?
No,
Oh, okay.
because
Well.
I feel like it's solid.
we just got bought by Norton, so we might not
It's
be
gonna
open
become a
after
health
the year. Yeah.
care facility.
We're dating the episode. Well, the episode's
Oh,
dating
gosh.
anyway.
Now I'm sad.
Oh yeah, it's a sad.
It's
thing.
almost like not enough people go to the movies anymore.
It's a sad thing for Louisvillians.
Marianne.
Cam!
I go to the movies sometimes for free because he gets me in free.
So
that's the
you're
funny
the
thing is,
problem.
I'm not paying for movies.
The business
I
is fine.
may or may not download movies.
A pirate's life
Can
for
I say
him.
that?
What?
Is it? Can they prosecute? Is this evidence?
You're gonna lose our sponsorship.
Exactly.
Go to the ad.
I've gotten some. This episode brought to you by Disney.
Which is definitely a good
Disney.
place to take your children.
Not a soulless corporation.
But I'm sorry, we got off track. What was the rumor you heard?
No, I wanted to ask. Someone told me the other day that you all do some sort of cool. Was it maybe on Tuesdays or something?
Oh, $2 Tuesdays.
Is that a
$2
thing?
all day for everybody. Yeah.
And free
That's
if you're friends
insane.
with Joseph all the
Yes.
time.
Honestly, I was like, why don't more people know about this?
Yeah,
Because I had
I've
no
heard about
idea.
that.
That's
I
the
actually
thing.
talked about it on my radio show. That was
Really?
like, so Terrific Tuesdays. And I said, if you want something to do, it's $2. I mean, get down. And I said that without actually confirming, but I'm glad to know you, Joseph.
Yes. Anybody comes
Well,
to
you
the
can
box
just
office,
watch the internet
drop
instead, for free.
Shut him up. Pirate.
But that's not
It's
like going to the
$3
movies on the
every
big
day.
screen.
Hang
Like,
the pirate.
You're right. No, I like going to the movies.
You know what? Come to the box office, Come to Village 8 box office. Mention Shrexorcist. I'll give you tickets, Mom and Dad. No, I'm just kidding. I can't do that. I feel like the Village 8. I'm just gonna get fired for Shrek. I'll get fired for Shrek.
you'll
You ever
go
been
down
fired for Shrek?
No,
Not even dozens of times?
not even.
No.
Okay, next question. Have
I'll
you ever
try.
been fired for Shaq?
Shaq?
We've got a lot of questions about
Yeah.
being fired.
Have you ever seen Shaq?
No.
Have you ever seen Steel? What do you think of the direction superhero movies have taken since Steel? That was not an honest question.
Okay. Okay, because I don't know what Steel is.
It was a movie that Shaq. You know who Shaq is?
No.
Shaquille O'Neal. Do you know who Shaquille
Oh,
O'Neal is?
that Shaq.
That's
yes.
Shaq. Yeah.
I do know. Who
Fun
Shaquille
fact: he's the
is.
same size as Shrek, 7'1".
Really?
I know that because of a fighting game that I had
Oh,
for the Game
God.
Boy
You're a nerd.
Advance. That had the booklet had
A
statistics.
Game Boy Advance?
Yeah, they had
Because you
statistics.
can't have a regular one?
Oh, no, a Game Boy Advance was like the second.
Once the
third.
Advance comes out, you got to get the Advance.
I was an advanced
Clearly.
You
kid.
can't keep playing. the
I went
Game
hard
Boy.
and went home.
Mm.
And you had to
And stayed at home.
You had to
for
get
your childhood.
Oh,
Oh,
There
he's
was a-
saying it.
There was a
Listen
booklet.
to Grandma's podcast. That's a joke for my brother.
I was gonna say it sounds like Eric
It's
Andre.
Eric Andre.
This ain't your mother's monologue.
It's from Eric Andre.
There was a booklet with stats, and they said that Shrek was 7'1". They said Farquaad. I'm gonna have to look it up for the podcast because I don't remember, but
And
it said
insert
that
it in here.
he could bite people's
Farquaad
knees.
can,
Yeah, it said
No.
bite people's knees.
and he is
He's a knee
this
biter.
tall.
Yeah,
And then we insert it there.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Farquaad is, and then it's like really muffled 4-3.
Will that actually happen?
No.
No.
Do you edit?
I'm gonna edit
Yeah.
the podcast together, but I'm not gonna edit my
Oh,
voice
and, and if you're listening to this now, you've already heard the intro, which we won't speak of
Yeah.
on this.
Yeah. Can
we?
Well, why? Did you want to say something about it?
It's really funny.
Yeah.
I just heard
it. Yeah.
You've already heard it if you're listening right now.
We heard it. We kind of. I did it when I was 3, so I've been saving it.
You've been saving it for a while
yeah,
now.
it's been in
Wow.
a chest. in
Yeah.
my
You
box.
actually invented the technology capable of doing it, and then
Yeah.
just didn't tell anyone.
And in an odd turn of events, I actually made Shrek. It's a Duloc is a perfect place. What can I say?
That's exactly the references you're not going to get if you haven't seen Shrek.
Yeah, I got nothing.
It's a game I like to play. It makes me feel superior to people that haven't seen it. That's the
You
only reason we have
clearly
this
are, Joseph.
podcast, because I have self-esteem issues and I want to feel like I know more about something than someone. So
Hey,
I said Shrek.
I lay
Okay.
down at your ogre feet.
Hey, even if he was an ogre. My cousin doesn't understand that he thinks he's an orc.
What?
He called
Those
Fiona.
are two different names.
Yeah, no, exactly. He called. This is funny. My cousin Andrew and his friend Justin. Andrew and I went to Universal, and Justin's one souvenir that he wanted was a keychain of Princess Fiona, and then as Andrew said, orc form.
Oh.
And that made me laugh
She's
really
not
hard.
an orc.
She's an orc. Orcs aren't swamp based.
Are there orcs in the Shrek universe?
I'm assuming there's like
Shrek
there's dragons, there's
So why not?
we don't see a lot of other mythological creatures other than like dragons and ogres in Shrek. We see
Fairy tales.
they're fairy tale
yeah.
characters. So like the supporting cast is like Pinocchio, Gingerbread Man, Three
Yeah.
Blind Mice, and they're all just
They're
jokes.
all in that.
Yeah, they're all just jokes about like
Legit. They're
traditional.
bringing old school back. I like it.
Have you ever had any romantic relationships where you were connected on like an emotional, like psychic, spiritual level, but there was some issue with it wasn't a conventional like physical attraction?
You mean like all my gay boyfriends?
Yes.
I have a harem.
Oh.
That is a good allegory, like the way I remember Hannah Rego, episode 1, said that it's a lot of questions in Shrek. Just like
it's a queer relationship.
Yeah, because it's the whole like
unconventional.
Yeah. When he takes his helmet off for the first time, she's like, "You're not supposed to be an ogre."
Yeah.
The harsh line in the film.
Yeah. But I think she hates herself because Fiona is a human, but her curse is she turns into an ogre once it's dark or something.
Mm-hmm.
So and Shrek finds that out, and so he falls in love with her as an ogre.
He falls in love with her when she's a human, when he's an ogre, and then he's so like he luckily at the end. I mean, that is.
I think he wishes that she was still a human.
That's a kind of point in the movie where I'm like, wait, doesn't that kind of go back on the message a little bit? The fact that she has to look like him and be like him, it kind of takes a little bit away because I guess this is she turns into an ogre she was cursed, so she turns into like an ogre creature every night. And at the end, when he confronts her about being in love with her, she turns into an ogre for good. And so it's like, yay, now they can be together. But that's the one, I guess, one kind of weird gripe about the movie is that...
Well, I feel like if she stayed a human, you could argue like, she can't be an ogre. That's not what the fairy tale princess happens. So either way, it's kind of fraught.
Fodder for sequels, my friend. I'm surprised they didn't. And you know how many of these there are at this point?
I'm not counting go with 5.
There's actually 4 films and a 5th one in production, so you're correct.
Really
yes!
Yeah, they're making.
Do I win a prize?
You'll get to listen to the episode.
Can I actually get the poster that you promised?
You know what? I'm giving you a poster.
Yes!
I jokingly said when I walked in that I had a poster for her, which I didn't, and then I regret
I will
it.
hang that up.
I'm getting you a poster.
God.
I'll get it on Amazon right now.
I'm making it happen.
That's the world we live in.
I'm gonna put it in my new office, which
By
is
the way,
closet.
Shrexorcist Amazon. Enter the promo code. That's my thing.
Enter promo code now.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Marriane. This has been really enriching, and it was a pleasure to talk to you and meet you. Yeah, and I'm going to give you a very professional handshake.
That was a good handshake.
What you didn't see was a handshake, a very professional one.
Yeah.
And I'll continue seeing you, I'm sure. I hope I don't screw up.
You do not screw up.
I will sometimes.
From what
You're very solid.
From the way she described you as an actor, that sounds like the best compliment an actor could ever hope for. You play a bunch of characters in a genuine way that doesn't feel like you're just putting on a hat.
Ice cream penguin, a delivery dog, and then I play a stage manager, which is interesting because
I love your stage
the implication.
manager.
Yeah, he's like a Brooklynite.
I kind of want you to be a stage manager.
I've been an assistant stage manager
and a
See,
director.
and all those were super cute. And I loved Elephant and Piggy.
Yeah.
And when I told the entire cast, I thought you guys hamming it up, doing a great job, loved it. But I never saw Another Butterfly as a whole. That's a different side of the coin. And the feels, you took me all types of places. You played the kid. Then you were getting married.
Yeah.
Then you were a frog.
There's a scene. I'm a frog for a second. There's a scene. There's a scene where we're in the house and I'm we're waiting for Papa to come home from work, and he comes in and he tells us that he's lost his job and that we're all gonna have to move to the ghetto and do physical labor. And I'm so fed up with the Jews being marginalized by the Nazis, and I'm tired of the old guard not doing anything. And I confront him. I confront my dad, Larry, and that's the one scene in I Never Saw Another Butterfly where I really feel there's really good, oomph there, and I can really get into it. And Larry will go there with me, and we'll almost tear up,
You're actually playing.
Yeah.
Which I think for thespians is a very cool place to be able to be, and you have to be comfortable and able to do that, and this is very difficult material. and I honestly didn't expect it out of you. I will be a big enough person to say that. The cast has had a rough time about it, and so you definitely won MVP for me, and I thought, wow, that was, of everyone, the amount of characters you had to play, and the fact that I was so distinctly different with each of them, I was about it.
Thank you.
Yeah, so that was my note for you. Now, we'll have to talk about your singing. We're going to work on that, babe.
Never done a
Yes.
musical before. By
So
the way.
for that, I definitely gave you brownie points because you're doing better than some people that are actually claiming to be singers. Ooh.
Has it
We
Cameron
know
ever?
who you are, Larry.
I
Our
took
next
that
guest,
note.
preview for the next guest.
Has Cameron ever played an ogre?
He
He doesn't
did
have the
play a
build for
frog,
one. He's
which
got
was-
more of a goblin's
Frog.
build.
And then I'm the Princess and the Frog. We do the Princess and the Frog.
Exactly.
I'm a frog and I turn into a handsome prince.
It's so
It's
great.
Shrek-like.
It really is Shrek-like.
Yeah.
Wow.
You got to see it.
That's more like the
We're going to
sequel.
get you in, Joseph.
Okay. I want to see this. Can we
Yes.
all right. Poster for you, play for me.
Yes.
We know who's winning this deal. Thank you so much.
Disney.
I'm going to go out and see Shrek now.
And go support Disney. They need your help, a local business
Hey.
struggling.
Hey, we'll have you back on after you've seen it. That's something we
yeah.
wanted to do.
If you see Shrek, you
Can I be the first returning guest?
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
as we call
Yes!
them, believer. You're a non-believer turned all-star.
Yes.
Yeah. Awesome.
All right. Thank you very much.
Shrek out.
Shrek out. And that is Shrexorcist Episode 3 interview with Marriane. I think a rousing success. I think the press is in. We did it.
Some people say, listen, folks. Some people say Kung Fu Panda. Some people say, I say Shrek. What is it? Some people say Split.
Some people say split. I say one, folks. Split whole. We're going to make America whole again, and not split. A plug for Split.
Yeah.
Go see it. It's an Unbreakable
Cameron's
2
gonna-
sequel.
Cameron just started an internship with M. Night Shyamalan. Big Avatar: The Last Airbender.
I think
live
The
action.
Village is his masterpiece. If you don't agree with me, find me and we'll talk. I'll convince you.
We're gonna make The Happening. Movies more like The Happening again, folks.
It's called The Nothing. I call it The Happening. Okay, yeah, that's Shrexorcist Episode 3. If you're listening, you're my mom.
If you're
And
listening, Mom, low on gas money.
low on gas money and
Didn't see a check on the fridge.
kissy kissies for bedtime snoozies.
All right. Night, Mom.
We're gonna have more episodes coming up. Exciting things in Shrexorcist world. We already got our next guest lined up. And again, if you know somebody, find that person that hasn't seen Shrek. Break that Shrek hold. Find them. Contact us. You're on the podcast. And hey, that's a good day.
You get to tell people I'm on a podcast. What
Yeah.
podcast doesn't matter. Just tell
No,
them you're
don't
on
tell
a
them the
podcast.
podcast.
Yeah.
They ask questions. You're turning away at that point in the conversation.
Thank you guys for listening. Shrek bless you all.
Night, night.
You all stars.
Shrexorcist night.
Nighty.